Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this year's British Saloon Car Championship. The opening round is here in sunny Snefton. Now what a championship it promises to be this year. We have some returning greats and some new faces on the grid. Now, qualifying was such a heated affair, with Robin Smith taking pole, with Bernardinette up in second place, Jackie Oliver in third, with Dan Gurney in fourth, John Whitmore in fifth, with John Sparrow in sixth, Grand Prix drivers Jackie Stewart in seventh, and Jim Clark in eighth, Tony Fall in ninth, with Alan Moffat in 10th. 11th was Charles Bridges, 12th was Gordon Spice, 13th was John Handler, 14th was Mike Clark, and bringing up the rear in 15th was John Marquet. Now, as they are approaching the grid, let's get down for the start of the race. It was a good start by Bernardinette as he's pulled slightly ahead of Robin Smith in the Mustang, but that Mustang has the power and he manages to get back past him coming out of turn 1. And it was an even better start by John Whitmore as he's managed to get past both Jackie Oliver and Dan Gurney. Here's Alan Moffat in his number 4 Ford Cortina as he tries to round the outside of the American Dan Gurney in that lumbering beast of a Ford Fairlane. Oh, but it goes a bit wide and can't get the move done, and that allows the number 30 Mini of John Handler to try and get him up the inside. But no, he slams the door and keeps the position. And now we see John Whitmore trying it up the inside of Bernardinette coming into the hairpin. Oh dear, I do apologise. And it seems like he's got the move done. And it looks like Jackie Oliver is coming down the inside, making it 3 wide, but he can't get the move done, and he slots in behind Annette as they go 2 wide with John Whitmore under the bridge, and it seems that Annette has managed to get the better of Whitmore, and he's out in front of him now. Jackie Oliver now trying to get his Mustang around the outside of John Whitmore's Cortina. Of course, that Mustang doesn't have the nimbleness of the Cortina coming through the S's, but can he take him on the long front straight? They're almost side by side going into the first turn, but it seems that the Cortina has managed to outbrake the heavier Mustang and keeps the position coming out of turn 1. Now Jackie Oliver is not one to give up, so he's going to be biding his time until the back straight where he can really put that Mustang's power to good use and sail past the smaller powered Cortina. Wow, just look at that thing go. He's past John Whitmore even before the braking zone for the hairpin at the end of the straight. So much power over the smaller engine Cortina. Now with the American Dan Gurney in that lumbering beast of a Ford as he throws around the outside of Jim Clark's Cortina. Dan Gurney is able to put the power down and leave Jim Clark in his dust. Which Betty wishes he could do that to the Grand Prix. Just look at the way that thing is bouncing about and lumbering in. It is such a heavy beast. But there's no denying its power as he puts his foot down now and is off after the Alan Mann Racing Ford Cortina of our John Whitmore. And now we've got the fight between the Jaguar of John Sparrow and Jim Clark's Cortina. And unfortunately, that Jaguar just doesn't have the speed of Jim Clark's Cortina. It's quite an old car now, that Jag. It's been racing in the BSCC for quite a few years now. Maybe it's time to retire it. Here we have John Whitmore, who's managed to keep his Cortina ahead of Dan Gurney's much faster forward. But how long for, one wonders, before that beast of a Ford V8 is just going to chew up that Ford Cortina, huh? What? Now the Cortina has the upper hand in the turns, but the Ford Fairline has so much more power that it's able to catch right back up on the straights. Let's see how this one plays out, shall we? Dan Gurney has managed to catch up to John Whitmore in the braking zone for the hairpin. They're about 2 car lengths apart now. Now with the S's coming up, one would suggest that maybe the Cortina has the upper hand here. But can the Fairline keep close enough to John Whitmore to maybe use its power on the front stretch and dive down the inside of turn 1? The little mini of Tony Ford now trying to hold off the charging Cortina of Alan Moffat. That mini is a sprightly little thing, but the Cortina has the power on the straights, I'm sure. And it certainly has no slouch in the turns either. It seems like Fall has the upper hand on Moffat there, but don't rule Moffat out. There's still a few laps to go. He can still catch up, I'm sure. With the leaders now, and Robin Smith has led since turn 1, but he doesn't seem to have managed to shake the Hillman Imp and Bernard Annette. It's quite surprising, really, given the difference in power. Annette must be absolutely driving the wheels off of that Imp right now to be able to keep with the super fast Mustangs. Just listen to the grunt of the power of the Mustang and the screaming engine in the back of that Hillman Imp. Now, how Annette is managing to keep the Mustang of Oliver behind him is quite remarkable, but it looks like Oliver is catching him now. Now with the 21 of Jackie Stewart as he comes up onto the back of the mini of Tony Ford. Looks like Stewart is making a move on 4. And the power of that Cortina means the job is done even before they break into turn 1. Fantastic. See, Fall doesn't like it and he's all over the back of Stewart's, but I really don't think he's got anything for that Cortina. Now ignore what I said about retiring that Jag, as John Sparrow throws it up the inside of Jim Clark here. A foot to the floor, and it's a drag race down the back stretch now. And as they're heading into the hairpin, we see John Whitmore throwing it on the inside of Dan Gurney. Side by side, and Sparrow's trying it round the outside of Jim Clark into the hairpin. There's slight touch there, but no harm, no foul. And Jim Clark, I believe, has managed to keep the position. Now we see the Cortina of John Whitmore all over the back of Dan Gurney's much more powerful but much more cumbersome Ford Fairline. It's such a good battle this, as one has the upper hand through the turns and the other has the upper hand on the straights. It's such a jolly good fight, and I, for one, would not like to say which one of these two racing drivers is going to come out on top. And as we see them just flash past, we can see that John Sparrow has indeed managed to get his Jag in front of Jim Clark's Cortina. I think it's safe to say now that, try as hard as he might, John Whitmore just isn't going to be able to catch and get past Dan Gurney's much, much larger and faster Ford. And now we have a fight between two Grand Prix drivers, and here today, two Lotus Cortina teammates of Jackie Stewart and Jim Clark. Stewart all over the back of Clark's car there as Stewart runs a little bit wide going into the turn. But he's able to get such a better run than Clark, and he manages to put it down the inside for this left hand. Stewart gets the move done as they head out onto the back straight, but Jim Clark is not giving up that easily. Hard on the brakes now as they're heading into the hairpin. Is Clark going to throw one up the inside of Stewart? Yes, he does. Oh, bumping fenders there as they come through the turn. But unfortunately, he just can't get the move done, and Stewart holds his position firm. Such a great fight between these two fantastic Grand Prix drivers. It's so wonderful that they're here today and putting on a spectacular show. Back with the leaders now, and it seems that Annette has managed to drag his little Hillman imp to within a few car lengths of Robin Smith's Mustang. Annette actually managing to pull his Hillman imp up alongside the Mustang there. Absolutely fantastic driving. And as they come through that turn and onto the back straight, here unfortunately we're going to see that Mustang just leave Annette and the Hillman imp in his dust. Unfortunately, that Hillman imp has absolutely nothing for that thundering V8 on the straights. And as they come through the hairpin there, you can see that Robin Smith has managed to pull back out a bit of lead over Annette. It seems that imp is more than a match for that lumbering Mustang through the S's, and Annette is back up on the bumper of Robin Smith now. Breaking into the first turn now, and you can see that the Mustang has managed to pull out a gap again on the much smaller part in. But Annette, it seems, has got a bit of a run on the Robin Smith Mustang, and he's pulling ahead. By Jove, he's taking the lead. This is absolutely fantastic driving by Annette, but surely he's not going to be able to keep that much faster Mustang behind him on the long back straight. braking hard into the hairpin now, and oh no, I think Annette is locked up, and they touch. Annette is round. Oh, absolute disaster for Annette there. He was doing so well in this race. Oh, absolute disaster there. He's managed to keep it going, and oh no, he's lost second place to Jackie Oliver as he's got his Mustang through up. Just a little too hard going into the hairpin there on the brakes for Annette, and unfortunately, Robin Smith had nowhere to go. It was inevitable, really. And now we see the leader, Robin Smith's Mustang. There doesn't seem to be any damage to his car either, thankfully. That's such a poor mistake by Annette. Could have ended the race for both of them. Back with the Annette Oliver fight now for third place, and just look at that imp sail through the turns compared to the wobbling beast that is the Mustang of Jackie Oliver. The imp is out in front on the front stretch, but Oliver, I'm sure, has the power to at least get alongside him into turn one. And there you go, Oliver is out in front even before they stand on the brakes for turn one. Oh no! Annette has just hit the back of Oliver's Mustang. Oh, what was he thinking? He's lost it. He's off into the grass. Oh, what a disastrous few laps there for Annette. He was on course for a win, and, well, now it's a danger if he's even going to be able to finish on the podium. Such a silly move there by Annette as he nudges Oliver in the rear. What was he thinking? And now he's paid the ultimate prize by spinning out himself. Such crazy scenes that we've been seeing from Annette in these last few laps. He's managed to keep it going, and by the looks of it, he's going to keep third too. Just goes to show the massive gap that the front three managed to pull out on the rest of the field. They must have been doing such a blistering pace. It's really quite remarkable. If I was Oliver, I would be having a few words with Bernard Annette in the pits after this race. Yeah, that was such a silly move. Pretty lucky, I would say. Further down the pack now, we have the number 8 Jag of Bridges as he tries to make a nuisance of himself with Alan Moffat's number 4 Ford Cortina. Moffat now looking down the inside of Ford's Mini, but Ford slams the door shut. No chance. And as they come through the S's, it seems Ford has the upper hand. And Moffat just doesn't seem to have the speed to catch Ford's Mini on the start-finish straight. And now with Smith, the leader, in his number 3 Mustang, as he comes through the S's for the final time. And across the line to take the checkered flag in what has been a fantastic opening round to this year's British Saloon Car Championship. With Jackie Oliver coming home in second place in the second of the Mustangs. And now, Bernard Annette has made yet another mistake, but he manages to keep it, and yes, he's bringing home the Hillman Imp in third. And now the finishing results for today's race. We have Robin Smith taking home first place and earning himself 8 points. Jackie Oliver manages to come home in second, earning 6 points. Bernard Annette coming home in third, gives him 4 points. He also got the fastest lap, earning him 1 extra point. And in fourth, Dan Gurney manages to bring in his massive Ford Fairline. Thank you for joining me today, ladies and gentlemen. This has been the SLI TV's coverage of the opening round of this year's British Saloon Car Championship from Snetterton. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and I hope you'll join me for the second round in the coming weeks. Thank you, and good night.